Hi, and welcome to Unity TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel so we can get this message out. I wanted to share a story with you today about two sons. There was a man that had two sons, and the younger one said to his father, he said, "Give me all my inheritance, my property, and all the things that you have had for me." And the father willingly said, "Okay, son, take your half of what I got you." So he divided his wealth between the two sons. A few days later, that son that he gave all of the younger ones, he decided to leave and he went to another country and he began to live a crazy life foolishly, wasted all his money and enjoyed all his time. And it said after this story says after he spent everything he had, all of a sudden there was a famine that came into the country. He was hungry and he needed money. So he went and got a job with one of the people who lived there. Then the man sent him into the fields to feed pigs. He was so hungry that he wanted to eat even the food that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. So this man, this kid, took his father's money. He takes off and he lives a crazy life, like the story says. And once all the money was gone, he loses everything. So bad that even the country suffered a famine. So he was already experiencing loss, and now he had lost double fold. So hungry that he tried to get a job, he ended up being with the pigs, and became so hungry that he wanted to eat even what the pigs were eating. That's how low he got. And even though he probably begged, no one gave him anything. Well, he didn't have no more money. He didn't have no more friends. He was all alone. So he realized that he was foolish. He'd been foolish. And he said, "Man, I left my dad's house. I left all this stuff that he has there for me. Plenty of food. Even has people working for him." And he thought to himself, he said, "Man, I'm here starving to death, and not too far down, my father's there and he got everything." He said, "You know what? Even though I've come this way and I've fallen so far deep, I know that if I go to my father's house and I tell him, I say, look, I'm sorry. I sinned against you and against God. I've done wrong, wasted all the goods that you have for me, and I'm no longer to be called your son, but at least at least hire me to be a servant and I'll work for you." So he thought all this in his head and he said, "You know what? This is probably the outcome of what's going to happen, but I'm going to go ahead and give it my all. What do I have to lose? I'm suffering here. I'm down. I'm starving. Nobody wants to give to me. I wasted everything." So even though he had to humble himself, he had to put his pride aside and he humbled himself and he said he went and went to his father. So the story goes, it says that while he was still a long way off, he was coming down that road and his father happened to be outside and saw him coming. And it says that the father, when he saw him, he ran and he hugged him and kissed him. And the son tells the father, "Father, I've sinned against you and I've sinned against God and I've done wrong to you and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son." But as the story goes, you see the father received him, kissed him, hugged him, did all these things for him and to him. Didn't ask him no questions. "Son, where you been? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? You look terrible. What's going on with you?" Or he didn't tell him, "You're no longer worthy to be my son no more. You done messed up now." None of that. It said, but the father said to his servants, "Hurry, bring the best clothes and put them on him. Also put a ring on his finger and good sandals on his feet. And bring the best calf and kill it so we can celebrate with plenty of meat. My son was dead, but now he is alive. He was lost, but now he is found." So they began to have a party. So this story that I told you today that I'm sharing with you is actually a story in the Bible. And you can find it in Luke 15, chapter 11. I'm sorry, Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 22. 24. This is the story of the prodigal son. See, this story tells you about the Father who being our Father in heaven. And sometimes we make some bad decisions in our life. We've all been there. We've done that. And sometimes we get to a point where we feel like, man, there's no turning back. I've done all the wrong. Some say, if I go into church, it's going to turn on fire. No, it's not going to turn on fire. We've all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. No matter what you've done, sin is sin. If you broke one commandment, the Bible says you broke them all. So we all have fallen short. And even though sometimes we wasted away our lives and our time, even with the talents or the gospel or whatever that God has given us, when we come to ourselves and realize, I need to set my pride aside, I need to ask God to forgive me and to receive me without a doubt, without a question, He'll receive you. Not only that, He says, hey, you put him on new sandals, He put him a ring on his finger. That ring represents kingship. You see, the Bible says that Jesus died on the cross for our salvation and that we can become called the sons of God. He gave us that honor. All we have to do is realize we're in the wrong, set our pride aside, and humble ourselves and come back. When we come back, the Bible says that the angels rejoice in heaven. When we go back to Him, He hugs us and He kisses us and He holds on to us because that's all He longs for. He longs for you to have a relationship with Him. You see, the story is that the Son left. You see, the Bible says that He never leaves us and He never forsakes us. But He also don't pin us down and twist our hands to make us to serve Him. We're free moral agents. In other words, we all have free will. He wants us to serve Him. He wants us to stay with Him and have a relationship with Him. But as free moral agents, sometimes we go and make bad decisions. But don't be deceived. Don't stay in that situation, in that position. You see, he was thinking all these things in his head, the son. He's thinking, well, I'm no longer, maybe I'll just go work for him. Maybe I can do this. All I want to do is just have an opportunity to eat and sleep and be safe. But God has so much in store, more than what you can perceive. Our ways are not His ways. Our thoughts are not His thoughts. The Bible says that He knows our future and He wants us to be prosperous and to have a certain future. Certain meaning a known future. And that known future is we're with Him, we're taken care of, we're secure, we have peace, and they celebrate. So I just wanted to share that story with you this morning. No matter how far you slipped away, no matter what you've done in your past life, turn your life to Christ. He's willing to forgive you and receive you as one of His sons. Old things become passed away, and behold, all things become new. You have a blessed day this morning. God bless you. Until we meet again, take care.